Welcome to Morning Glory Farmstead. My name is Lolly, and this channel is all about gardening, animals, and nature. I've got 5 of these birdhouses, and all of them always have the Eastern Bluebirds in them. I've got some free ranging going on today, and I've been really good up until today, but I missed a chicken who made it into my flower garden and was scratching away and eating all of the flowers that I planted, y'all. Let's just say I'm gonna have way less zinnias unless I plant some more. Now this is an old birdhouse that someone made for me, and the last storm that I had took off part of the roof, and I noticed that the chickadee was going in and out of that roof. I saw it going in and out of the hole, so I knew it was using it, but I didn't even realize that that roof was partially off and it's still using it. So I went around to the side and got a couple shots of it. I got the pair, both of them, helping out, taking turns, working hard. I suppose it's easier with that side open to build that nest. It's just not as safe against predators. The hummingbird hotline was all go yesterday. Someone called someone who called me who saw their first hummingbird that's about 11 miles from here. So today, me and my granddaughter, who likes to come over and help me with projects, we emptied out the old sugar water and we added some fresh. We filled up the moats with some fresh water. They should be here any day now. Super excited. Have y'all been seeing any in your area yet? All right, and over there to the left, I've got the hair bag. I know that sounds kind of funny, but that's that bag I told you about. It's a fruit net bag, and I fill it with dog and cat hair that's really soft, and I hang it. I put a pole in front of it too, but the birds come and they use it to build their nest. Every year I put that out. Now, sometimes they'll sit on the pole that I put right next to it, and sometimes they just sit on that bag. Because birds are lightweight and that is a net, they can actually put their claws on the net and sit on it to get that hair out. And we also put the other glass humming feeder out front now because this is where I had the hummingbird feeders last year. So I wanted to put one in the same area because they usually go back to the same place, and then they'll figure out where the other one is eventually. Little Ollie Boo's days are numbered for jumping in and out of the green stalks. This is the chicken's box stock, and it's about to get replanted and moved over to the patio. All the dogs are chilling, and here is Bailey using Donka as a pillow. If y'all have watched my other videos, you know I do a ton of bird feeding, and that includes just ground feeding. So here we've got the thrasher. He runs super fast like the Roadrunner, if you guys remember that cartoon. Some of you are probably too young for that. And here's Mr. Chipmunk. He comes out every morning and eats almost the entire first round of seeds. And you'll notice, it's kind of far away, but if you look closely, the longer he goes, the bigger his cheeks are getting. The evidence is all there. Here's a blue jay. Kind of shy here, didn't quite get in the good range of the camera, but you can see. Female cardinal. It's imperative right now that they have plenty of food and water so that they can take care of building their nests and all of their babies. And once they have their babies, they have to feed them every few minutes. So they are very busy and very exhausted this time of year. All right, guys, let's talk about this garlic greenstalk. I even found the same shirt that I wore for that video. Now I'm going to show you the greenstalk, and then we're going to talk about it. Hey, in case you're new, I've got a link and a code in the description box for you to get 10 bucks off a greenstalk or any of their products. Okay, so the video that I did with me planting garlic was on German Hardneck Garlic. Y'all say that 3 times in a row and see what happens to you, man. That is a tongue twister and brain teaser. So if you guys actually watched that video, I did a ton of research. And what happened was I found a lot of different recommendations. Some said use mulch, some said don't. Some said to use wood chips, some said to use hay or straw. I finally found something that said wheat straw was the best for mulching it, so I did that. So after I did all of the research and compiling all the information, I made some executive decisions about what amendments to add, whether or not to mulch, how deep to plant, how much mulch I should put on there. So it's really just an experiment to see how it would go. Now this variety that I'm growing, they say does really well in colder climates, but it didn't say that you can't grow it in North Carolina, and so I wanted to try it. I figured since we get below freezing and sometimes even into the negatives like we did this past winter with -10 wind chill, that it would probably be okay. Now what's supposed to happen is that you're supposed to plant it a few weeks before the frost date. If you plant it too early, it's gonna come up premature and then it's not gonna go dormant like it's supposed to and kind of die back and then come back in the spring. So I waited and I planted it maybe 2 to 3 weeks before the frost date, and we actually had a freeze that came early. So I definitely wasn't premature. So the idea is that it's going to get established inside the potting mix, and then it's going to kind of die back throughout the winter. It's just going to be dormant. And then the closer you get to spring, all of a sudden you're going to see some green garlic scapes, which you can eat once they curl. You don't want to leave them too long or they get bitter. But then about 4 to 6 weeks after that, it's going to be time to harvest the garlic. But let me tell you what mine did. After the first frost, these scapes started coming up already. So I knew it was going to be premature. And I kept thinking, well, I'm just not going to cover it. I'm going to leave it totally exposed and really let this frost and the cold get to it so that it will eventually go dormant. So I kept waiting and waiting for it to go dormant. It never did, you guys. I didn't stand a chance with this thing. I even cut some of the scapes back. Let me see if I can find one that's still a little bit shorter. Okay, so here's one that's a little bit smaller. I'd actually cut that back and it grew back with a vengeance. These are completely covered in pests. You can see here. Really bad. So I was really hoping that with the -10 wind chill and being down in the teens, that it was gonna go dormant. I intentionally left it uncovered and didn't put the frost cover because I was like, I've gotta keep this thing uncovered so it'll go dormant. I was hoping the cold didn't actually kill it. You guys, it was -10 wind chill. I came out, it was still green. If there's all these scapes growing on the top, there's probably not a lot going on underneath. So the idea was that after it laid dormant all winter long, when you see those scapes, you're going to add the amendments again because garlic is a heavy feeder and you want it to really be able to produce big bulbs and not just the scapes. So I was going to wait till springtime, cut the scapes, add the amendments, take the mulch off, and then we'd be good to go. But no, you guys, I think the factor here was that it was the German Hardneck Garlic and that maybe overall the winter was a little bit more mild even though we dipped down into lower temps than we ever have here. I think the -10 was the coldest wind chill that we've ever had. And we were down in the teens for like a week at a time. Overall, the winter was a little more mild. So the reason I wanted to do this variety is because it's a very robust, complex flavor that other garlic varieties don't have. But I probably should have grown something that may have been a little more appropriate for North Carolina and the southern region. But moving forward, I probably won't grow it again because it doesn't seem like the winters are going to get more cold overall. It seems like we have the polar vortex and this stuff come through and then it's back to being maybe a little bit warmer than it was in the past. So I'd love to know if you guys have grown the German Hardneck Garlic in the South, and did yours go premature too? I know one viewer said their garlic went premature, but I wasn't sure if it was the same variety or not. But I'd love to hear from you guys how yours did. So I could cut all the scapes, take off the mulch, add some amendments, and see what happens over the next couple weeks. But everything that I've read says that if they're premature, you're really not going to get a very good sized bulb. And I want to make the most of the green stalks that I have. So I think I'm just going to clean this out and go ahead and plant something else. And next year, I'll just try a variety that does a little bit better in the warmer weather. Let's pull some out just to see what it looks like. All right, guys, thanks for hanging out with me. I hope your garlic bulbs come out much larger than mine. I'll see you real soon in the next video, and until then, y'all have a great couple of days. Bye-bye.